What if your daily commute didn't involve traffic lights, potholes, or packed subways, but began with a vertical liftoff from your rooftop? In June 2024, China publicly revealed the AE-200, a next-generation flying vehicle that just might make electric cars feel outdated. With vertical takeoff, AI piloting, and city-to-suburb range, this isn't a sci-fi concept. It's real, it flies, and it's coming fast. As the world chases electric cars, China may have leapfrogged the road altogether. The age of flying transport is no longer a dream. The sky is open, and your next ride could be airborne. China's stunning reveal. In June 2024, something unusual stole the skies over Chengdu. It wasn't a military jet or a drone swarm. It was the AE-200, a sleek electric aircraft rising like a whisper and cruising like a sports car. Overnight, footage of its public test flights exploded across Chinese social media. "What is that thing?" asked millions. Awe met confusion. The sky had changed and people knew it. The AE-200 didn't just fly, it stunned. Social media lit up with videos of its silent liftoff, vertical rise, and fluid transition into cruise mode. Hashtags trended. #flying taxi, #SkyEV, #AE200. Memes poked fun. Finally, I can fly over traffic. But even skeptics had to admit it looked real and it worked. No CGI, no wires, just technology doing the unthinkable. What made this moment historic wasn't just the flight, it was the message. China, often seen catching up in automotive tech, had leapt ahead into a new lane. The air. EVs were yesterday's battleground. Tomorrow's race would take place thousands of feet above the ground. And this wasn't just a concept. AE-200 flew in front of crowds, journalists, and engineers, proving not just ambition, but capability. "It's the moment the electric car felt outdated," said one Shanghai tech blogger. The AE-200 turned curiosity into belief. That shift from possible to probable was the real liftoff. But what exactly is this machine, and who's behind it? From internet buzz to tarmac brilliance, the AE-200 wasn't just a public stunt. It was a serious machine built by serious people. The company behind it had been working quietly, far from Silicon Valley spotlights. And now, with the world watching, it was time to understand the aircraft that might just change the way we move. Not in a decade, but in the next few years. Meet the AE-200. Chengdu in China's southwest is better known for spicy food and pandas than cutting-edge aircraft. But it's home to Wu Chongkong Technology, the firm behind the AE-200. You won't find them at global auto shows, but in aviation circles, they're now the name to know. Their vehicle is no toy. It's a vertical takeoff and landing craft, VTOL, as engineers call it. It flies up like a drone, moves like a jet, and lands anywhere flat. At first glance, the AE-200 looks like something out of a near-future film. Aerodynamic, compact, yet built for real use. It boasts a maximum takeoff weight of 2,500 kilonewtons, cruising at speeds up to 320 km/h. That's faster than most high-speed trains. And with a flight ceiling of 1,000 meters above ground level, or about 3,000 meters above sea level, it operates comfortably over cityscapes, yet well below commercial airliners. Range matters. The AE-200 can cover 200 kilometers per charge, perfect for city-to-suburb hops, business park commutes, or reaching remote areas without runways. This isn't about cross-country travel. It's about skipping traffic, slashing urban congestion, and saving time. From Shenzhen to outskirts in 15 minutes, one ad teased. In cities where gridlock is daily life, that's a dream worth chasing. But it's not just for commuters. The AE-200 is designed to handle multiple roles: air taxi, medevac, cargo hauler. One moment it's ferrying executives, the next delivering supplies to flood zones. That flexibility is what gives it edge, not just a vehicle, but a platform for how cities could breathe again. Now that we've met the AE200 and the minds behind it, let's step deeper into the machine itself. How does it fly? What allows it to rise vertically, then dash through the air with such grace? Beneath its sleek frame lies some of the most advanced flight engineering ever attempted in a civilian aircraft. The AE200 isn't just about looks. It's a marvel of layered design and silent power. Engineering the marvel. The first thing engineers solved was the vertical takeoff. No runways, no catapults, just vertical lift, powered by electric rotors. Each rotor spins in harmony with others, guided by software that adjusts in real time. It's not just brute force, it's precision. It's like balancing a coin on its edge in a wind tunnel, joked one of the lead designers. Yet the AE200 does it with elegance. Once airborne, it does something even trickier. It transitions. Going from a vertical hover to forward flight requires a shift in thrust direction, control surfaces, and power systems. If done poorly, it can be jerky, or worse, dangerous. But AE200's transition is seamless. Its control systems blend aerodynamic lift with thrust vectoring, ensuring a smooth glide from standstill to speed. Then there's noise. Cities are noisy enough. So AE200 was built with ultra-quiet rotors and vibration-dampening structures. You don't hear a roar, you hear a whisper. That's key for urban use. Less noise means fewer complaints and more routes open to flight. It's not just smart, it's considerate. At the brain of it all is an advanced AI flight computer. It manages altitude, obstacle avoidance, wind correction, and emergency overrides. Equipped with radar, cameras, and redundant safety systems, the AE200 is built for autonomous operations, but can also be piloted remotely or on board. Redundant batteries, fail-safe rotors, and crash-resistant compartments make it one of the safest experimental VTOLs ever built. Test flights that matter. Behind the headlines and viral clips, the AE200 faced its real tests in silence. Under strict conditions, with data recorders humming and engineers holding their breath. These weren't showcase moments. They were about pressure, precision, improving the machine's limits. Could it fly fully loaded? Could it shift between hover and cruise without a hitch? Could it hit 300 km/h outside of simulation? Test after test, answers emerged. One test had the AE200 filled to the brim, passengers, cargo, everything it was designed to carry. It lifted without struggle, hovered stably, and shifted into forward motion without a jolt. The margin wasn't just good, it was safe. Engineers celebrated not just the performance, but the control. It didn't feel like we pushed it, one flight director said. It felt like it wanted to fly. Then came the hover-to-cruise transition tests, the trickiest part of VTOL physics. It's where many designs stumble. The AE200's AI-controlled balance system kicked in, blending thrust changes with aerodynamic control. Observers described it as a ghost gliding forward. Not a wobble, not a stall. The transition was so smooth, some thought it hadn't switched modes at all. Speed trials pushed the AE200 to its edge. 320 km per day in open skies. It handled turbulence, wind shear, and unexpected crosswinds. With onboard sensors adjusting thrust in milliseconds, it never veered off course. It felt like watching a drone that had a pilot's instincts, one aerospace blogger remarked after a live demo. But perhaps the most important moment was the public showcase in Chengdu. Hundreds watched in real time as the AE200 rose, hovered, turned, accelerated, then landed, all in under 10 minutes. Applause followed. This is no prototype, a city official said on the spot. It's a near-ready product. With flight trials proving its muscle and intelligence, the next big question wasn't how high it could fly. It was where. Urban skies aren't empty. They're layered with drones, choppers, birds, buildings, and rules. The AE200's biggest challenge wasn't technical, it was territorial. Turning city air into commutable space requires a new kind of dance, one where infrastructure, safety, and society all move together in rhythm. Urban airspace integration. Think about the city skyline, rooftops, cranes, antennas. Now imagine adding takeoff pads, charging stations, and automated landing zones. That's the vision. Vertiports, airborne garages layered into skyscrapers, malls, and hospitals. The AE200 isn't meant to land on highways. It's meant to land where people live and work. But that means cities must change shape too. Air traffic, along the domain of airports and control towers, will soon need to stretch over neighborhoods. Picture dozens of AE200s, drones, and emergency choppers sharing tight airspace. That's a serious challenge. Real-time coordination will be key. AI will monitor paths, detect collisions before they happen, and reroute in milliseconds. The AE200's built-in radar and obstacle avoidance tech is already tuned for this, but it's just one piece of the wider puzzle. Then there's regulation. Flying cars don't fit neatly into current aviation laws. Are they planes, helicopters, or something new? Cities will need to set flight corridors, enforce altitude ceilings, and ensure safety zones. China's Civil Aviation Authority has begun this process, but the rules are still in beta. Every city may need its own approach, depending on density and design. Infrastructure is the final pillar. Charging stations can't be far from vertiports. Maintenance hubs must be as common as car repair shops. These needs will create new industries and new traffic. But public trust is just as vital. People need to feel safe, not spied on. It's not just airspace we're changing, it's mindset, said one Chengdu planner. The sky can't feel like chaos. While China charges ahead, it's not alone in this skyward race. Around the world, engineers, inventors, and private startups are testing their own answers to flying mobility. From Silicon Valley to Warsaw, the skies are becoming a battleground of innovation. And each country brings a different approach, some sleek, some wild, all ambitious. So how does China's AE200 compare on the global leaderboard? Global competition begins. The AE200 might have made waves in Asia, but the sky has no borders, and neither does ambition. In the United States, ALF Aeronautics is working on a road-to-air convertible vehicle. It's bulkier than AE200, but versatile. Versatile, drive it on the highway, then switch to vertical flight at designated pads. Their focus is utility over elegance. It's not about style, said ALF's CEO. It's about solving traffic with air. Across the Atlantic in Poland, the Volonaut airbike is stealing attention. A single-seat jet-powered speeder that looks like something from a video game. It's light, fast, and designed for personal freedom, not mass transit. Built from carbon fiber and equipped with intuitive controls, it's designed to give riders a 360-degree view of their surroundings. Not as practical as AE200, but far more radical. Japan's SkyDrive is taking a more refined route. Their SD-03 flying car is smaller, built for short, low-altitude hops. With backing from Toyota, they're eyeing 2030 as a mass-market launch year. It's less about speed, more about seamless integration into urban life. Like an elevator that floats, one engineer described it. France enters the scene with the Zapata S-Fly, part jetpack, part platform. It looks like a Segway took flight. It's agile, eye-catching, and completely different from the multi-passenger designs. Built for quick bursts and solo rides, it's more of an air scooter than a car, but it turns heads wherever it flies. When comparing specs, China's AE200 comes out ahead in payload, range, and real-world testing. It's closer to being deployable, especially for citywide transport. While others focus on niche markets or single riders, the AE200's strength lies in its scale potential. It's not just a ride, it's a system. China's medical drone breakthrough. Not every flight is about convenience. Some are about survival. In disaster zones and remote regions, roads vanish, washed out, blocked, or simply non-existent. China's answer? A medical drone built to do what ambulances can't. Fly over chaos and bring life-saving care where no vehicle can go. This isn't science fiction. It's already being tested, and it's called the AE-M300. Designed by the same team behind the AE-200, the AE-M300 trades speed for strength. It flies slower, but it's built to handle tough conditions. Wind, snow, mountains. Its payload? Up to 300 kilograms. Enough to carry not just supplies, but people. Yes, it's strong enough to lift a human patient or medical personnel into or out of a crisis zone. And that's just the beginning. Inside, it carries more than bandages. Think IV lines, oxygen, defibrillators, even vitals monitors that link directly to doctors in real time. A remote physician can see a patient's stats and guide onboard medics via secure channels. It's not just a flying box, it's a mini emergency room with wings. One provincial medic called it the stretcher of the skies. But its most impressive spec? Altitude. The AEM 300 can reach 5,000 meters. That means it can operate over Tibetan plateaus or snow-covered ridges where helicopters often struggle. And it does so in temperatures ranging from 25 degrees to plus 46 degrees. From deserts to highlands, it can go where human aid can't reach quickly enough. From medical lifelines to adrenaline machines, the flying frontier isn't all serious. A parallel wave of innovation is rising, smaller, personal, and wildly experimental. Think hoverboards, jet bikes, sky scooters. They're not built to save lives or replace cars yet. They're built to show what's possible. And in that freedom to explore, inventors are discovering how far, how fast, and how fun personal air mobility could be. Personal flight takes shape. Imagine stepping into your backyard, pulling on a harness and lifting straight into the sky. It sounds like a sci-fi movie, but inventors across the globe are racing to turn personal flight into a weekend hobby. No cockpit, no pilot's license, just you, a machine, in the open air. The goal? Flight for the individual. Compact, intuitive, and thrilling. Start with Kix Mandiola's Hoverboard Air. It's light, portable, and looks like a snowboard fused with a drone. Pilots, stand on it like a skateboard, shifting weight to turn and hover. Mandiola's pitch? If you can ride a bike, you can fly this. It's not long range and it's not fast, but it's enough to float above treetops or over a quiet lake. Next is the Volonaut air bike from Poland. Built with carbon fiber tubing, it gives riders an open sky experience. 360-degree views, minimal structure. It's a jet speeder, not a taxi. Light enough to lift easily, yet agile enough to steer intuitively. It's for those who want the feeling of flying, not just the function. Then there's the Zapata Esfli, a Segway for the skies. With twin jet engines mounted under a standing platform, it lifts vertically and responds to lean-based inputs. It looks wild, and it is. Videos show it zipping over rivers, gliding down highways, dancing in the air. It's like riding a dream, one early tester said. Finally, Jetpack Aviation's JB-10 brings turbojet agility. Strapped to your back, it gives you minutes of powered flight. Fast, maneuverable, and unlike anything else. It's loud, it's raw, and it's dazzling. Great for stunts, less so for commutes, but it proves the tech is there and the dream is alive. But dreams collide with limits. As these machines touch the sky, they also hit invisible ceilings, technical ones. Power, weight, noise, and weather and all push back. No matter how sleek the design, every flying vehicle today faces the same bottlenecks. Battery life, energy storage, and the physics of lifting a body against gravity for more than a few minutes. The question now isn't just what can fly, but how long, how safe, and how reliably. Technical limitations. It's one thing to fly, it's another to keep flying. In current air vehicles, including the AE200, face a hard ceiling, battery limits. Even at peak efficiency, most flights last 20 to 30 minutes. That's enough to cross a city, but not much more. Why digging? Because energy density, the amount of power you can store per kilogram, is still too low for long flights without making the craft dangerously heavy. Weight is the eternal enemy. The more batteries you add, the shorter your range gets due to extra mass. It's a tightrope act, too light and you lack power, too heavy and you never lift. Engineers are chasing new battery chemistries, solid state, lithium air, but commercial readiness is years away. For now, we're working with the best we've got, and it's barely enough. Then there's noise. Despite quieter rotors, urban flight is still loud, especially during vertical takeoff. Downwash, the blast of air beneath the rotors, can rattle windows, disturb birds, and stir up dust storms on rooftops. That limits where VTOLs can land and how often they can operate. In crowded neighborhoods, even a whispering rotor can feel like a thunderclap. Weather complicates everything. Wind shear, rain, and thermal drafts can destabilize lightweight craft. Unlike planes that fly at altitude, urban air vehicles operate closer to the ground, where weather is messier. Stability systems help, but even AI can't conquer a storm. Emergency backups like parachutes and auto landing are essential, but not foolproof. One battery cell fails, and it's a 2,000 kg rock, one safety engineer warned. Safety in air traffic. Flying through cities isn't like cruising down a street. There are no lanes in the sky, just chaos if you don't manage it right. That's why safety isn't a feature in air mobility. It's the foundation. The AE-200 and its global rivals face a sky packed with risks. Buildings, birds, drones, low-flying helicopters, and unpredictable weather. Getting from A to B safely requires more than just good piloting. It demands brains in the sky. The AE-200 uses a suite of 3D sensors, radar, and cameras to constantly scan for obstacles. Its AI analyzes flight paths in real time, predicting threats and shifting routes instantly. If another object appears within range, be it a kite, bird, or drone, it reacts in milliseconds. It's see and avoid, upgraded to sense and solve. One engineer called it a co-pilot with 100 eyes. But even with smart systems, pilots matter. AE-200 can fly itself, but for now, trained operators handle most flights. That training isn't like driving school. It's part drone control, part aircraft command. Operators must know wind patterns, emergency procedures, and AI overrides. New pilot schools are forming just to meet this demand. Eventually, these courses might resemble the way we train commercial drone pilots, but with higher stakes. Backup systems are everywhere. Dual rotors, dual batteries, triple GPS. If one part fails, another takes over. Auto landing kicks in during emergencies. And some designs even feature ballistic parachutes. Yes, whole craft parachutes that deploy when things go really wrong. It's overbuilt for peace of mind, said one AE-200 designer, because air trust is fragile. Still, even with sensors, parachutes, and precision AI, air safety isn't just about the vehicle. It's about the rules of the sky. Who controls where you fly? Where do you land? What happens when 10 people want the same rooftop at once? The next barrier isn't hardware or software. It's bureaucracy, zoning, and the invisible lines that define modern cities. Regulatory and societal hurdles. Flying cars don't just rewrite transportation. They challenge the law, the skyline, and even the way we think about privacy. Right now, aviation codes are built for planes and helicopters. VTOLs live in a gray zone. Are they aircraft? Are they drones? Most countries don't have laws that cover them directly. That's slowing things down, not just in China, but worldwide. New zoning laws will be required. If AE-200s are landing on rooftops, those rooftops need structural reinforcements, permissions, and flight corridors. Cities may need to designate vertiports the way they once zoned gas stations. And that's before you even consider the neighbors. Noise, vibrations, air traffic above residential areas. These spark instant backlash. We need to earn every flight, one planner said. Then there's the issue of surveillance. Urban skies packed with camera-equipped vehicles raise concerns. Will they film people in their backyards? Will law enforcement use them to monitor protests or track suspects? Without clear boundaries, trust will erode. The sky must be open but not intrusive. Even public opinion swings wildly. One survey in Shenzhen found that while 72% of respondents were excited about flying cars, only 28% would ride one within the first year. Fear of crashes, hacking, and motion sickness held them back. As one woman put it, "I'll watch them from the ground for now." So with the tech built, the laws catching up, and society slowly adjusting, there's still one force left that could ground the dream: cost. Because no matter how fast or safe a flying car is, it won't matter if no one can afford to board. Making air mobility mainstream means making it affordable. And that's where the numbers start to bite. The cost equation. The AE200 is an engineering marvel, but what does it cost? Right now, no official price has been released, but industry estimates peg it in the luxury zone. Think high-end EV levels, possibly $300,000 or more per unit. That puts it firmly in the realm of air taxis and commercial operators, not private owners. At least not yet. Compare that to ALF Aeronautics' road-to-air car in the US, which currently runs around $300,000. The Volanaut Airbike, Jetpack Aviation's JB-10, and the Zapata Esfly are still untaxed prototypes. No mass pricing exists because they're still experimental, but the story's clear. First-generation flying machines are for early adopters, not everyday people. Scaling could change that. As materials get cheaper and batteries more efficient, costs may fall. Think about how drones went from $5,000 hobbyist toys to $200 weekend gadgets in just a decade. The same curve could apply here if production volume takes off. China, with its massive manufacturing base, may be in the best position to drive those costs down first. The goal, according to AE200's developers, is to match the price of a premium electric vehicle. If it's cheaper than a Tesla and flies, people will line up, said one exec. Until then, urban air mobility will remain elite, a future glimpsed from below. So here we are, at the edge of something incredible. Flying machines that rise like drones, move like planes, and promise to reshape how we live. But will they truly replace EVs? Or will they hover just outside reach? Cool, possible, but never quite mainstream. The final question isn't technical or financial, it's existential. What kind of world do we want to build? And are our skies ready for a traffic jam? Will air mobility replace EVs? The idea is thrilling. Skip the jammed highways, glide above crowded intersections, and arrive in minutes. No red lights, no potholes. Air mobility promises freedom, speed, flexibility, and new access to places ground vehicles can't reach. And in emergencies, there's no contest. Flying wins every time. But reality bites. Flying machines are still expensive, limited by weather, and far harder to regulate than ground vehicles. You can't pull over in the sky. You can't refuel just anywhere. And one small error can be fatal. The EV world may be slower, but it's proven. It's safe. It's here. Most experts see a hybrid future. Cars for ground, aircraft for sky. Imagine commuting in a compact EV to a downtown vertiport, then flying the final stretch to a tech campus or hillside retreat. That's the realistic dream. Not replacement, but partnership. Ground and sky, working in tandem. But for that to work, three things must align: technology, laws, and culture. Batteries must improve, systems must become bulletproof, and society must be ready to see the sky as a shared highway. If even one of those lags, the dream drifts out of reach. As one futurist put it, the sky's open, but we're not quite ready to live there yet. What if your daily commute didn't involve traffic lights, potholes, or packed subways, but began with a vertical liftoff from your rooftop? In June 2024, China publicly revealed the AE200, a next-generation flying vehicle that just might make electric cars feel outdated. With vertical takeoff, AI piloting, and city-to-suburb range, this isn't a sci-fi concept. It's real, it flies, and it's coming fast. As the world chases electric cars, China may have leapfrogged the road altogether. The age of flying transport is no longer a dream. The sky is open, and your next ride could be airborne.